Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is another session, really quick session, because it's cold. It's cold today. But karibuni sana, karibuni sana. I'll speak to you very briefly about what's going on in Kenya. Like I said, this is just going to be a brief one. So catch this on your repeat and share it, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell on so every time I come in, you can always get me here if this is your first time. If you've already been here before and you've already subscribed, you know the first order of business. Like that hit the like button and make sure that your notification bell is on and ready. So every time I come in, I'm not gonna be here every day like I used to, but I will come in some days and have an impromptu discussion about what's going on in Kenya. As you can see, the topic is the BS in ODM and Gachagua desperate for attention. Huh? I don't know. We'll see. Let's start with the BS in ODM very, very quickly. Now, there seems to be this whole ODM Team A versus Team B, or ODM Asili versus ODM Original, or whatever the case is, may be. Okay? You already know by now, if you're following the Kenya news, there's the ODM faction that is with the Sifuna faction, with Babu Wino, Winnie Odinga, Orengo, and the rest. Then there's those who are like the coat hangers, the ones that were hanging on Raila's coattails, okay? Who are now on Oburu's junk, okay? The Oburu's faction, okay? The Gladys Wangambadi, Joho, and the rest, Junet, blah, blah, blah. You know the rest. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. Here is the bigger picture, and here is what nobody is asking. And this is why I say this whole fight, or this whole infighting between the two factions, is nothing but a way of the Odingas to maintain total control of this party, and therefore have this perceived control over the Luo Nyanza votes. That's what it is about. It's not real. This beef between Sifuna and Sijui Babu Owin, no, Sifuna and Gladys Wanga, Sifuna and Oburu, Sijui Orengo, it's a bunch of baloney. These guys are on the same team. But the whole thing is all about the Odingas choreographing this so-called rift, but by the end of the day, it will fall under total control of the Odinga family, Odinga family. I know there's now we are talking about Odinga versus Oginga. No, it's the same clan, okay? Because if you know Oginga Odinga, the father Jaramogi, you know, was the father to Odinga Raila, okay? So they're saying, okay, Winnie represents the Baba faction, and Oburu is, Oburu being the son of Jaramogi, who now represents him. But anyway, the whole point is this. The Oginga Odinga clan, okay, once Raila, left us, was gone, they want to control, they want to maintain control of the Luo Nyanza votes. Okay, remember, people always complain about Odinga being this, the Odingas being the monarchs of the Luo nation, the kingpin, the king of Luo Nyanza. The Odingas would like to maintain that power because Raila was so influential to a point where every other family members do not have the same influence as he did. So with the absence of Raila Odinga through natural death or whatever, if you suspect, some people suspect that he was unalive, regardless, he's no longer with us, there's a vacuum. But the Oginga or Odingas, they want to maintain that grip on the Luo Nyanza vote and maintain that power, perceived power, when it comes to voters and influence over the vote-rich Luo Nyanza region. Okay, they want to maintain that power that Raila had when he decided, hey, where was Mama up was the MP of Karachuonyo, and you become the MP of Karachuonyo, or whatever the case is. That's what this fight is about. So the fight, if you notice, no one is standing up and asking, why is everyone so gun-ho, okay, on this fight or this perceived tension between Winnie and his uncle Oburu? Can somebody stand up and say, hey, can we have a leader who is not an Odinga or is not an Oginga Odinga, does not come from that family or relative of them? You understand what I'm saying? That will be a legit question. Can we have a leader who can represent ODM who is not related to the Oginga Odinga family? That will be a legit what? Question to ask, but no one is asking that. It is being framed as Winnie, the son of Raila, versus his uncle Oburu. So either way, whoever wins still will be under. It will be the victory will still be in-house within the Oginga Odinga clan. You see what I'm saying? But this is done by design. I told you, some people get excited about Sifuna. Sifuna is the fakest MP in Kenya. Pretender. Performative. Drama. This guy, when the Gen Zs were out there wanting to take out Ruto through popular revolution, peaceful protest, this guy was out there standing alongside Raila Odinga, advocating for a what? For a handshake with Ruto. Are we forgetting? But again, Sifuna is somebody who talks with both sides of his mouth. When now the whole handshake became unpopular, Sifuna came out and started acting like, hey, the day that ODM will enter into a broadbase with ODM, it is the day that I will resign as the chairperson of the Secretary General of ODM. And they have. Has he resigned? No. Sifuna is a faker. But you people get excited when you see him, heckling other debaters in morning talk shows, and you think that Sifuna is something. Sifuna is just as useless as anybody else. The only thing that Sifuna keeps Sifuna relatively relevant is the fact that he hasn't been caught in any major scandal as far as stealing or anything else. But Sifuna is a well beneficiary of this corrupt political elites of Kenya. Don't buy anything from Sifuna. He's just as useless as Oburu, useless as Wanga, useless as Babu Owino. Useless. Don't buy into these people. That's why I'm saying, can I see somebody raise up this question and say, must it be that Oginga Odinga's clan be involved in this? Have a high role, Cheo in ODM, just because of the name? It is all BS. Speaking of choreography, and I said I would stay here long. The second issue here. By the way, news today, I saw Muchomba made a video. She's firmly behind UDA. Amerudi nyumbani. Ice. Yes, I can. That's all I'll talk about next time. Let me get to this Gachagua thing because everybody was talking about. I was busy watching Arsenal versus Manchester United. By the way, congratulations, Manchester United, for beating Arsenal. I hope Arsenal bottle it like they usually do. But anyway, let me just talk about this Gachagua, Cleophas Malala, and what's that girl that lady that paints her face? I forgot her name. Anyway, whatever her name is, okay? Cleophas Malala, for those of you who don't know Cleophas Malala, it is very interesting. The Cleophas Malala is actually a very known for his screenwriting skills, script writing. So Malala Malala made a video with this other lady. I forgot her name. I think I don't know if she's a woman rep, MP, or Ruoba. I think her name is Ruoba. But anyway, they made a video demanding that Ruto produces Gachagua because they're claiming that Gachagua amekuwa abducted, and they were demanding that Ruto should produce Gachagua within 1 hour or else. And Cleophas Malala, I can tell, is a very mediocre script writer. These people don't think through their shenanigans. He was holding a bunch of bullets, saying that, hey, you see these bullets? These bullets were the ones that were unleashed on us when we were at church. You saw the video of the church tear gas and all this. Just a bunch of nonsense. We saw the Nani, Gachagua's bodyguard, who was helping him, escape, per se, allegedly, was also part of pretending to be the security forces of. Listen, I've been telling you guys, Gachagua is working with Ruto together with Uhuru. It's a whole con game. Nyinyi hamwelewi. But what gave it away was the fact that Oruoba and Cleophas Malala was holding a bunch of bullets in his hand. Saying that those bullets were the ones that were live bullets that were shot. Woo-wee! Like acting, tafadhali. If you're going to act, please make it believable. Tafadhali, make it believable. That was just a poor production. They don't think about these shenanigans now. Speaking of shenanigans, I think I can watch. I can see you. Hey. Yeah. Let me continue. So Gachagua is faking this, and he was ambushed in church, tear gas. Ruto is you abduct. They're trying to say Gachagua was abducted. Just a bunch of nonsense. Like I say, Gachagua wants attention because he's losing track. His ethnic division, politics of ethnic division is not working. It's not effective. Rona. So it's not working. So it's not working. Speaking of which, I've heard that the driver that was involved in Girongo bus accident, is in critical condition somewhere in a hospital somewhere. Anyway, so the theme of today's talk is this. I'm well, Erika. I hope you're well. I hope you are doing well, whether you're in Kisumu or Nairobi. Yeah. Siku hizi hata sijui unapigania nini since baba ameenda. Sasa sijui wewe ni hayati ama ni yatima, mtoto yatima ama anasemaje? But nice seeing you, Yaga. But anyway, just to finish off, ladies and gentlemen, I promise I won't be here so long. I was just trying to say that Gachagua is desperate for attention. Cleophas Malala and Oruoba, please do a better job when you're writing a script. Please. You have to be believable. Like I say, with ODM, this whole fake tension between Sifuna faction and Oburu faction is all about maintaining control. The Odingas maintaining control of the ODM party, the party that is perceived to be the what? The ruling, most influential party within Luo Nyanza. Okay? To maintain that, political Odinga monarchy to continue. Okay? But it will fail because it is inevitable that ODM shall end. By the way, I saw that Mama Ida has accepted the job that Ruto anampatia ile ya UN. So people are saying, is it a bribe? But anyway, I'll leave it here, ladies and gentlemen. Join me again. I'm working on some things. We'll be back in full squad. Wacha tuangalia hii mambo ya IT. Kuna watu ambao mpaka tu ambao wauze kidogo washikwe na papula. Washikwe na ndo kidogo alafu tutaendelea mbele. Ama namna gani? Anyway, subscribe, share, like, comment. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings. I'm out.